Hello, and welcome to a brand new season of the Overseas Leafs Report. I'm really excited to be starting a new season with brand new episodes for you. Welcome back to those who were part of the adventure in Season 1 last year. A brand new welcome to those who are watching for the first time. A lot has happened for the Maple Leafs since they were eliminated from the playoffs by Boston again in Game 7 back on April 24th. And in no particular order, let me go through some of the things that came up during the summer. First of all, there were a lot of questions brought up about Babcock's job security, even though he's got 3 seasons remaining on his current contract, especially how he employed players in the playoffs and down the stretch. Dubas came out after the season, reassured everyone that Babcock was safe, but that remains an area to keep an eye on as the season begins, with Babcock feeling certainly a little bit of heat. Also, there were some unusual trade requests made. First of all, by Nikita Zaitsev, and later the dealings that led to Patrick Marleau briefly joining the Carolina Hurricanes on paper and ultimately being bought out. This all led to several former Maple Leafs joining the Ottawa Senators, which might suggest that either the Battle of Ontario is alive and well or no longer worth talking about. 2 new assistant coaches joined the Leafs staff. Then around July 1st and a little bit after, the Maple Leafs made several inexpensive, short-term free agent signings to fill out the depth on the roster. This, of course, led to a prolonged Marner contract negotiations. Some hard feelings emerged from all sides here. In the end, Marner received a very favorable deal, I think, so I'll be curious to see if he can follow that up with a good performance for the next 6 years. Conversations online about Matthews' mustache, and more recently, a scheduled court hearing for disorderly conduct during the offseason. Training camp got underway in Newfoundland, and I was very excited to see the local fans show up for games there. And as we get ready to drop the puck on the 2019-2020 season, we still have the unresolved matter of the Leafs' captaincy. Should be resolved today. Some clear favorites have emerged, and like everyone else, I'm very curious to see who it'll ultimately be. So with the roster set, let's have a look at who will be suiting up for the blue and white on opening night. So here are the 23 names that will be introduced at Scotiabank Arena for the Leafs home opener. You'll notice Zach Hyman and Travis Dermott highlighted in blue here. They're both out injured. Wouldn't expect to see them until November. And the first comment we can make as we look at this lineup is how much it's changed over the past year. While we're at it, let's look at what that lineup looked like back in 2018. There's certainly some familiar names there that Leafs Nation will recognize. Sadly, or maybe not so sadly, are no longer on the team. I've got William Nylander highlighted there in blue. As you'll recall, he was over in Switzerland awaiting a new contract, which didn't get resolved until December. So for dramatic effect, let's take out all the names of players that are no longer on the team. Talk about an off-season of turnover. Again, Hyman and Dermott in blue. Let's take those out. And what we're left with is all the new openings on the Leafs roster to begin this season. So how did the Leafs create and fill 13 roster spots over the course of just a couple of months? First of all, you've got internal progressions that occurred, for instance with Andreas Johnsson and Kasperi Kapanen. 2 players that started the season in the press box will be on the ice for opening night, talking about Freddie the Goat and Martin Marincin. Justin Hall remains on the practice squad after playing just 11 games last season. Jake Muzzin and Michael Hutchison, of course, were on the team that finished last season, whereas Mikheyev, Kerfoot, Spezza, Ceci, Barry, and Nick Shore will all make their Maple Leafs debuts. Lastly, those in orange are young players that were drafted, spent some time with the Marlies, and now graduate to the NHL. There's, of course, lots of excitement surrounding Rasmus Sandin's debut. And now we all look forward to the very first game of the NHL this season. Maple Leafs versus Senators from Toronto. I'm excited. Go Leafs, go. Feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel, like the video, and stay tuned for new episodes throughout the upcoming NHL season. Also check out @Overseas Leafs on Twitter for the latest news and updates.